All right, week 5 is in the books, and we are heading full speed ahead towards week 6. And this is the fantasy show. We've got all the gurus here. We've got Alex, we've got Dom, we've got Logan, and we've got me, Cameron, here to help you with your fantasy teams. This is usually one of my favorite shows of the week. We get a lot of questions. So if you guys are watching, please make sure you're subscribed. Go follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube, all that good stuff. I'm getting worse and worse at these intros as we go on, which is bad. But do all the things. Make sure you listen to us on your way into work and your way home from work on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts. But tonight we're going to talk about some buys, some sells, some waiver wire. Going to answer lots of questions. So yeah, let's get into it. Before we do, fellas, how was y'all's week this week, week 5?
Great. I think we were just talking about that. All three of us in our fantasy league, except for Logan, won our league. So pretty good week.
Yeah, and we put out an article every week about starts and sits. Last week I was tasked with running backs and receivers. 2 of my starts were Rashid Shaheed and Rachaad White, who the 2 of them won me a league after I picked them up this week. So I'm feeling good heading into this week's start sits. I'll be putting out tight ends and I believe defenses tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah. This week I went 4-0 in all my leagues, and I told people to start Darren Waller, and he provided people with a very good start against Carolina. So I was pretty proud of that start.
Good for you. That's a great start. Noah B hopping in here to just shed the light on some tomfoolery in the room. Heard that Alex
Oh my gosh.
0-5 in his dynasty league in the bottom of the standings.
That is my roommate and his friend who are in the room right next to me right now. And let me defend myself here. I drafted for the future. I'm drafting so that my team's good in 3 years, not so it's good right now, Noah.
It's called a productive struggle.
Yeah. I know that you're 5-0 right now, but you're going down in 2 years, Noah. The cage is going to be yours for a few years.
Is this a startup you just did?
We started a league this year, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they went more competitive. You went more play for the future.
That was the goal, yeah.
Whenever I do a startup draft, I always do the productive struggle. I always try to trade back from my first and second round picks, gain additional picks in the middle round, gain some future draft capital, and it's never been bad for me. So anyway, sorry, I had to get a sip of my sweet tea.
Nice.
Logan, how were your fantasy leagues this week?
Yeah, I went 4-0 in my leagues this week. I picked up Dowdle last second and started him over Jameson Williams, and I was kind of 50-50 on that decision. I'm glad I decided to start Dowdle over Jameson, who got, I think, 1.9. So, going 4-0 and winning all those leagues, I am in a dynasty league as well, so that one is always satisfying to win.
Oh yeah, it's so fun to win dynasty leagues.
Yes,
so I'm in a league with my father-in-law and 2 of my brother-in-laws, and it's a redraft 10-team, 2 quarterbacks, 2 defense, and 2 kicker league. And my team has just been decimated. I just drafted all rookie running backs. Pain. It has not the good ones. It's like Travion and RJ Harvey. I had CD. Of course, he's hurt. It's just been rough. But I was playing my brother-in-law this week. I'm 3-1 despite all that, but the lowest scorer in the league. So I'm playing my brother-in-law, who was top 2 in scoring in the league, top 2 overall. And I had to pick up a defense to start, and I just happened to pick up the Saints defense. And that was a gold star, 100% would do again play. Got me 18 points. My 49ers kicker got me 18. And then so I thought I was competing. So I went and I wasn't going to get a tight end because Bowers is my tight end. He was hurt. And then I was like, I'm just going to lose. But because of all that, I was like, oh, it's competitive. So I went and picked up Brenton Strange before Monday night, thinking I had a chance. And Brenton, did anybody see what happened to him?
I don't know. I know it was a hip injury, and now he's on the IR now. So you probably need to go look for another tight end.
Hip/thigh injury. But we got some tight ends that we can pick up instead of him. I mean, number one's Mason Taylor for me, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, 100%. No, I'm not worried about the picking of it. Just broke my heart that he didn't do anything. And then I had a couple bets with him involved in them, and he had like 22 yards on one reception. I needed 30. Oh man, I was like 8 yards away from $500. But anyway, that's what I got. Let's answer some of these questions that are coming in fast and furious. We got Juan Pena Jr. in here. First off, who should I take for my wide receiver 3, tight end, and flex spot? We got Devontae Adams, Quentin Johnson are 1 and 2. He's got Chubb, Bill, Gainwell, Charbonnet, Travion Henderson. Wide receivers are Hollywood, Addison, Debo, Juwan Johnson. Wow. Okay, this is a lot. So let's start tight end. Who would y'all start at tight end?
I don't know why you have 5 tight ends on your roster currently, unless
this has got to be a deep team.
No defense, no kicker league. But honestly, this week I might be starting Mason Taylor just because, I mean, his targets have been going up every week. I think he had 12 targets this last week, 9 receptions. He's become Fields' favorite target. The Jets' offense isn't looking that bad. Yes, they're playing the Broncos, but honestly, I think that means they're going to be targeting Mason Taylor even more with hopefully, I mean, Garrett Wilson might be taken away with Pat Surtain. So I might go Mason Taylor with how he's playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. He hasn't even gotten a touchdown yet, and he got 17 points last week. Like he has a 27% target share as well. So he's been like Alex said, Fields' favorite target. Him or I would personally. I'm a little risky. I'm on the Kyle Pitts resurgence train, so I wouldn't mind starting him.
You're one of the last remaining few.
Yeah, I mean, listen, 14 points for Kyle Pitts is like 37, so that's like
right.
So no, but in all seriousness, I agree with Alex. I think Mason Taylor is the go-to.
Yeah, I would go Mason Taylor as well. I think he provides the safest floor of all those tight ends. And he does have a tough matchup against Broncos, as Alex mentioned. But I think if you need a safe floor play and your roster looks pretty good, so you don't need, a boom play at the tight end position, I think Mason Taylor provides a safe floor.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Usually this would be Juwan Johnson for me, but the last 2 weeks he has just been trending lower and lower. 3 targets 2 weeks ago and 4 targets this past week, while Mason Taylor had 12 this past week, and the week before that he had 7. So he's trending up. He's the obvious number 2 over there, so definitely there on tight end. All right, now we're going for wide receiver 3, so let's look at these receivers. He's got Hollywood, Addison, Debo. Where y'all stand on that?
I like Debo.
I'm probably going Debo. Yeah, I think Debo. Addison, he got benched last week in the first quarter because of not showing him to walk through. And then Hollywood Brown, there's just too many weapons there. Xavier Worthy, Tyquan Thornton, Juju. I think Debo could end up being your wide receiver 2 this week. So I would put him in as your wide receiver 3.
Yeah,
as a Patriots fan, it's painful for me to hear you refer to Tyquan Thornton and Juju Smith-Schuster as weapons after how I saw them play on my team. But yeah, there's for some reason competition for targets with Hollywood Brown. So I'd agree. Debo's been great. Yes, maybe Terry's coming back this week. If so, I'm not even sure he's going to get full snaps. So yeah, Debo, I'm still rocking with.
Yeah, I think I'd have to say Debo. Who are the Vikings playing? I'm trying to find them.
They're on bye this week.
Oh, they are. Oh, so Addison's out.
Oh, so now, Addison wouldn't be.
Yeah, so Debo's easily the selection there, and he's playing Chicago, who's been bad. If McLaurin's out, I mean, Debo's just going to be a low end wide receiver 1, high end wide receiver 2 on the week. All right, now for the flex, I think we will stay at the running back position. Dude, to me, it's Bill. I don't see anybody here that worth starting other than Bill.
And they're playing Chicago too, so their run defense is atrocious. So I would start. I mean, that's what Ashton Genty's breakout game, but he already broke out this past week. And after this past week, I think they were trying to find who's who in that offense, especially in that running back room. So I'd say Bill. I say that he has enough volume to be a solid flex with a good floor.
I agree. All right, let's go to this next question. Juan's got a couple more, but we'll hit him back in a second. Carter Poynton, how much fab should I put on Quinshon Judkins in my chopped league so that the Huzz don't call me chopped?
And that's another guy in the next room right there. But all of it, Carter. Put all of it on Quinshon Judkins. I don't know if he's still on the. I'll yell for a second. Wait, give me.
Yeah. He's
I agree.
Giving him
Sanders right now.
All right,
insider info.
If he's still not on the pod, then he heard me.
Elite insider info in that dorm room.
I may be the one person here who's not fully on the drop everything for Quinshon. Just because it's a chopped league. I know you need to maintain some funds. And the only problem for Judkins right now is he's limited in his receiving ability. And there are better options, but it depends on where you're at, Carter. Like, are you, bottom half of the league? Then yeah, you got to go drop it and go get somebody like Quinshon. But if you're, trending up, I might wait and try to drop my band on Bijan Robinson.
I would go all in on Judkins. I mean, he even had a 53-yard touchdown called back due to holding this past week, so his stat line could have even been better. I think he had 23 carries for 110 yards, and I think the next 2 weeks are really light opponents. So I would be putting all my money on Judkins in that league. If
I'm being serious, because it's a chop league, I'm a big player. I'm a big proponent of saving your money for later in the year. I'd probably put about 101, 102 on Quinshon just to try to beat out the people betting exactly 100. And people aren't going to bet that much on him, especially because he was down the draft board at the start of the year. People still don't think of him as an RB1, but he had 110 yards this week. So I put 100 on him to be safe.
Yeah, the perceived value on Judkins is very, very high right now. So you're going to have to bid quite a lot. All right, let's go over here. Juan's got another question. Which tight end should I pick up over Juwan Johnson, Dalton Schultz, Jake Tungus, David Njoku, Mason Taylor, or Kyle Pitts? Wow, I thought some of these guys were already on your team.
I did too.
To me, it's between Njoku and Taylor. I think Njoku had a nice little bump in production with Dylan Gabriel in, which was pretty exciting to see for him.
Yeah, I might be the Lone Ranger on this, but I really like Jake Tonjes if Ricky Pearsall and Vaughn Jennings are out. Even if one of them are out, I really do like Jake Tonjes. He's for some reason the ultimate red zone threat for the 49ers. So obviously I have Mason Taylor first though. So, but if you need a sneaky, you want to boomer bust day, I'd say pick up Jake Tonjes, but for me it's Mason Taylor.
My league mates and one of my dynasty leagues, one guy said that Jake Tonjes reminded him of a young TJ Hawkinson. My response to that was, you guys are not going to gaslight me into thinking that Jake Tonjes is good. The man had 7 catches on 41 yards and a touchdown, literally saved by the touchdown. He did get a ton of targets, but 41 yards, brother. That's what 5 yards a catch. It's just painful. I'm not there on Tonjes. He's Dom's right. He's a good late round guy, but with Njoku or Taylor, or Pitts, I like all 3 of those guys much better than Tonjes. He's a last resort to me. This is an easy one. Jahan Dotson. Thank you, American Ultras. Shout out.
Another one.
Alex, just yell to him. We don't even have to answer. Just yell at him.
Not again. He doesn't deserve a response for that one.
That's right. All right. Juan says again, who would you drop? Hollywood. Wow. He types this really difficult lead.
These are loaded questions, man.
Gainwell, Chubb, Henderson. Free agents are Stevenson, Bourne, Flournoy, Tonjes, Taylor, Pitts. Wow. Okay.
Drop Nick Chubb. He's a things fast.
Yeah. I would drop Nick Chubb as well. Yes, I would do the same thing.
Especially he's on bye too.
Yeah. I think I think that's the only guy there. Maybe Flournoy, drop Hollywood for Flournoy. Just because with Rashee coming back, I think Hollywood goes to a more meager role, less on the bone for him. And Flournoy, had an intriguing college prospect profile. They were trying to make him a thing a year or two ago, and had a really good game this past week. But that could be a flash in the pan. It feels more like a flash in the pan than anything else. So, all right, Tom Brady, sup, fellas? Go grab Rico. He's obviously speaking on Rico Dowdle, Mr. 200 himself. That was insane.
Jeez.
Can you?
He wasn't even doing that good in like the first quarter, and I picked him up in one of my main leagues, and I was like, oh, this is going to be disastrous. Like people are going to make fun of me for like starting the backup Panthers running back.
Yeah.
And I tried to convince myself that he was efficient in Dallas last year, and that he was the guy to go to who he could handle. And I turned off that game, turned it back on in the second half, and I looked at my phone in disbelief. So he's the real deal. If Hubbard is out, obviously.
Yeah, and his first carry of the third quarter was like a 54-yard run. So that's a lot of that, Yeah, like you said, the first quarter, it wasn't that great. And he left the game a couple of times with like injuries. So I was kind of worried that, he was end up, out for the game. But came back in and got over 200 yards.
Came out of absolutely nowhere. And he had Eric Collins going absolutely wild the entire podcast. If you guys were listening to that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Dave Canales effect. Dave Canales, often touted as like a quarterback whisperer, but he's a great run game coordinator. I mentioned this Sunday that he's like the guy who got Rachaad White kind of popular. Rachaad White had a really good year that first year in Tampa Bay, and then Canales left, and then Chuba Hubbard becomes something. Now Chuba Hubbard's at risk of losing his job. I think Dowdle definitely earned more play. But Dowdle still, I think, it's hard for me. I probably have too much personal bias because I owned him all last year when he played for the Cowboys, and it was just such a painful grind to have him as my RB2 all year long. It was like 16 carries for 45 yards and maybe a touchdown like in the fourth quarter, and it was like, oh, thank God he got a touchdown.
Yeah.
But
like the fact that he played that well, I don't think they're going to rush Hubbard back from his injury. So no. I'm thinking Dowdle's going to get another week of being the starter there.
He's a good one to get because most people, I think, they either don't know Dowdle or they don't like Dowdle. So, sometimes you just have to trust what happened on the field. The other part of this is they did play Miami, and even Trevor Etienne looked pretty good. Anyway, keep that in mind. Ryan says, would y'all trade away Quinshon Judkins and George Pickens for CeeDee Lamb? Current running backs are Gibbs, Judkins, Scatabo, and Mason. 12-team PPR, currently 3-2. Ryan, my big question to you would be, who are your receivers? What's your depth on receivers look like? So if you're watching, let us know. But in a vacuum, what would you guys do?
I wouldn't do it because I don't think Scatabo is going to be that reliable for long. Both Scatabo and Mason are rentals right now because Tracy and Aaron Jones are out for a couple weeks. But when they come back, I don't want to be left with those two and Gibbs as my running backs. I'd rather keep Judkins and Gibbs as my running back duo, and I'm fine with Pickens. He's going to be getting a lot of points the next couple of weeks still while CD's out, and we don't know CD's exact return date yet.
Yeah,
they've got his projection up, so he may come back this week, but I don't know. Yeah,
I don't think he's going to come. And they're playing Carolina this week. Like, they don't need to bring CD back this week.
Yeah. And the only thing with that is Judkins is only getting better as the weeks go on. Like, he's in my humble opinion, he's kind of matchup proof. Like you've seen him like in all the Minnesota game. Everybody's afraid of this Minnesota defense, and he's kind of just matchup proof. Like it's kind of insane where he'll have a good game rushing wise in every single game. Like and he gets the volume too. The receptions and targets, I think that's going to come with his efficiency, but the Browns are in crunch time right now trying to win, even though it's like one score every week. So I think he's just getting better. And like you guys said, like Scat is just like a rental. And realistically, what's the highest he can go in this offense? Like where's he's a fantastic rushing, like, and I think he's a fantastic RB2, but is he going to be worth it in the end, trading away Judkins? So
yeah, I would keep the Judkins and CD. Like Cam said, it depends on who your receivers are, but like Scatabo, I'm not really trusting. And then Jordan Mason, I know he got injured in the Browns game. I don't know what his status is for this week, but I would keep the Judkins and Pickens side.
All right, so he's got Brian Thomas Jr., Rashee Rice, George Pickens, Ricky Pearsall, and Waddle. Thanks for the advice. I think when Bryce comes back, he's going to be a, easily top 12 receiver. If not, like, to me, I might be insane, but I
don't
have
think you
him
are.
very
I
high,
don't
like
think you are at
top
all.
5. Yeah,
I think he's probably
he
wide
would be a
receiver.
top 5 receiver.
Like when he comes back, he'll be like a wide receiver, borderline wide receiver 1 the rest of the season.
Yeah. So then you got Pickens, who's going to have up and down games. You got Pearsall, who's been playing well, but once everybody comes in healthy, he'll probably be up and down. Waddle, I think, is super underrated right now. Super underrated. So, yeah, I think I would probably, in this scenario, it's just so hard.
Well, if you do trade for CD, now you have CD and Rice just stay on your bench for at least another week.
Right.
I would just keep the pick inside because I don't think CD is going to be coming back for at least another couple of weeks.
Yeah, I just read a thing. It says 2 weeks. It could return within 2 weeks. So it'll probably be week 7 that CD comes back. So maybe just ride the Pickens train one more week. See if you can trade Pickens and keep Judkins. Like, I mean, I know I said earlier, like Judkins, I'm not as high on him because he's ceilings capped with the receiving part, but that could come at any point in time. I don't think Quinshon Judkins is a bad receiver by any stretch. And I think Dylan Gabriel's like check down Charlie. So that could come. I just want to see it. And like the thing I like about Scatabo, or I liked about Scatabo, was he was getting targets. Like there was one game with Russ playing that he got 8 targets and 6 catches. But the problem is Dart loves to run. And now that takes away those dump off opportunities to Scatabo because Dart will just run. So, yeah, I mean, see if you can make a trade CD or Pickens, Scat, and Mason for CD. I'm all for that one, but I don't know if they would like that. So, all right, one more question, then we'll get into some content. Tom Brady, is Derrick Henry done, or is he a buy low candidate?
This is such a tough question. This really is. Like, I don't think he does anything this week, and then they have a bye. So I think at least the next 2 weeks, he's not going to be really producing for you. I still believe in Derrick Henry, especially like when Lamar comes back. I do think they'll be better offensively. Their schedule does line up a lot. Like, if you can buy Derrick Henry for really cheap, and if somebody's really scared about Derrick Henry, I would go after him.
Yeah,
only way get him really cheap.
Yeah, I agree. I prefer to stay away. I feel like there's so many better options, even as buy low candidates. Like, I mean, I guess if someone's giving you him for like Marvin Harrison Jr., like I would do it like 1 for 1, but I don't think anybody's. I think the name value is too big for him. I don't think you're going to get a fair price for that. So I'm personally just staying away from Derrick Henry right now until things get better. Or Lamar comes back, or even with Lamar in, his just efficiency was not good. They're giving Justice Hill touches. I don't know. Just for me, I'm staying away.
I would say that his value is going to be lower than it will be for the rest of the season next week. I think that next week's the perfect time to buy him because he's not going to be productive when they stack the box every play because Cooper Rush is the quarterback of the Ravens. When Lamar's on the field, he's averaging 5.9. He averaged 5.9 yards per carry last year. Best of his career. So I think that he's going to be good the rest of the season. He's just not going to be good this week. And obviously he has a bye. So he's going to be a great buy low. I'd do it next week.
Yeah, I think he is a buy low. You're just going to have, if you buy him this week, you have to suffer through the Rams and then the bye. But after that, you get Chicago, Miami, Minnesota. You got another game at Cleveland, so that's not ideal. But then you get the Jets, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Bengals, Patriots. I mean, I think Henry's a good buy low. I don't think he's done. I think that's the biggest part of this question. I don't think he's done. You can never count out the big dog. Like people have been saying he's been cooked for the last like 2-3 years. And what does he do? Goes on and has like a top 5 receiver or running back season. And the offense is just terrible right now with Cooper Rush. They don't have any juice. So his values, I agree with Alex. His value, especially after next week, is going to be super low. So if you feel like you need to go get the trade done now, like do it, but don't trade a whole lot for him. Like he should be a buy low. So, all right. Actually, I've got one more question. This is a good one. Mateo Panettiere, half PPR league. Do I trade Bill, Croskey, Swift, and T for Brees and Bucky?
Yes,
I would do it.
100%.
Yeah,
I would
for
do it,
sure.
yes.
This is a perfect example of sell high. Perfect.
Yeah. Because people are going to think that T. Higgins is going to rebound with Joe Flacco as his quarterback, but Joe Flacco's been like the worst QB in the league this year. I don't know why they traded for him, then
bad.
Swift, and Bill Croskey just had maybe his best week of the season. So yeah, I'd do that for sure.
Yeah, I love that. That's actually a really, really nice trade.
Yeah, Brees and when Bucky comes back, you'll probably have 2 top 8 running backs when Bucky comes back. So I would do that for sure.
Yep. Yeah, and I love Bill. Like we're going to talk about Bill here in a minute, but I freaking love Bill. But to get both Brees and Bucky and get rid of Swift and T are roster cloggers if I ever seen one. So great sell high. All right, fellas, let's get into some of these waiver claims. I'm going to hit just a list of names, and you guys tell me your favorite ones. The list I've got right now: Kimani, Vidal, or Hassan, Haskins. Since Amarian Hampton headed to the IR, out for minimum 4 weeks. Michael Carter, Kendre Miller, Rico Dowdle, Brashard Smith. Let's start with the running backs. Who do you guys like there the most? Who would you be most willing to spend it all on?
I'm excited about Kendre Miller still. He outrushed or got more rush touches than Kamara second week in a row. It looks like I've heard rumors of a Kamara trade to the Chargers brewing. Mm-hmm. So I think you might want to buy into Kendre Miller now. And if that happens, you've got a RB2, maybe even a low-end RB1 for the rest of the year if he's getting a full offensive load. So
it's Rico Dowdle 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. But Chuba will be back somewhat soon. So, yeah, I like Kendre.
I think everybody's speaking of the Chargers. I think everybody's wondering a little bit about the Vidal Haskins situation. I did a little bit of research on this before the show as well. Haskins, just to make it short and sweet, Haskins is going to be the goal line back and short yardage back, third down back. Vidal is going to be that pass catching, speedy pass catching running back. So depends what kind of league you're in. If you're a standard, I'd pick up Haskins in a heartbeat. For me personally, if you're in PPR, I do like Vidal a little bit more. He's a little bit more, he's going to get you bigger gains, just not the touchdown efficiency that you would hope from like somebody like Haskins. So personally, I like Vidal a little bit better, but it depends what you're looking for. If you value the boom bust of the touchdown or that short yardage, gains. So it just depends what everybody's looking for. But I do like the Chargers running backs because, Harbaugh does use his running backs quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm expecting Dowdle. He's probably already on a lot of people's rosters. So I'm agreeing with Alex. I like Kendre Miller a lot. His snap percentages have gone up each of the past 4 weeks. And each of the last 2 weeks, he's had at least 11 touches in each game. So I think his involvement in the offense is just going to continue to grow. And I do think Alvin Kamara at some point they're just going to trade him. I mean, there's really no point of him being there anymore. And Kendre Miller is a young running back. They kind of need to work towards the future and just get some draft capital for Kamara.
Yeah, I like all these buys. I mean, or ads. I was a big, if y'all can believe it, I loved Kimani Vidal coming out of college, and of course, breaking my heart. Hasn't been super good so far this year, and I think Haskins is the guy they trust. I've seen a couple quotes from Harbaugh that they really like Haskins, even though Haskins is so. I just think he's so booty buns.
They need to trade for a running back.
Yeah,
that's why.
I kind of hope they don't because I do have Hampton in some of my leagues, so I hope they kind of just ride out Haskins. So I'm hoping they don't trade for anybody.
Well, the reports I've seen say it's either Kansas City, Chicago, and I think I've seen the Chargers on there today, but I've seen those two, the Kansas City and the Bears on Kamara's. I wouldn't mind taking Kamara for the Bears, but Yeah, I see that because I mean I would love him in Kansas City, but that's another conversation. For
I would as well.
Owners.
Yes.
I don't think it makes that much sense in Chicago. He's just like a little bit better version of DeAndre Swift. So
exactly,
Yeah, I like the idea of Breece Hall to the Bears. That's my favorite one. Little young, a lot of juice. Anyway, yeah. So I'll talk on two of the other guys we haven't really hit on. Michael Carter, dude, you have to go get Michael Carter. Like to me, I think he's my top guy on this list because he just had a great game this past week. Benson's on IR. They signed Michael Carter off the street this past week. They ran him, gave him more opportunities than DeMarcado. And if anybody watched, DeMarcado dropped the ball prior to entering the end zone. Like what are these guys doing? It is so crazy how they're just so like willing to throw the ball away. I know they're excited, but and Gannon literally like looked like he like sucker punched him in the stomach.
He did. You guys saw he got
fined
$1,000.
$100,000.
Jeez.
Yep.
It was a big deal, and so, but like, I would not be surprised if DeMarcado gets cut, and like, just that's how some coaches are. He hasn't been cut yet, so probably a good sign that he's still going to be there. But Carter is probably going to take the lion's share of the work. And then Brashard Smith. This is more of a darker. This is more of a darker road to travel. It's a deeper free agent ad because I know a lot of these guys are probably gone already if you're in deeper leagues. But Brashard Smith, 3 catches this last game for 32 yards. I know it's not a lot, but he just so obviously, and Logan can probably attest to this, he so obviously has the juice that both Pacheco and Kareem Hunt do not have. And man, he just reminds me so much of Jerick McKinnon. So down the stretch, he's a 7th round rookie. Down the stretch, I think he's going to pay off dividends if you're willing to take the risk and hold him. So that's my takes on these running backs. All right.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's more of a dynasty guy. But yeah.
Because I actually don't think the Chiefs running backs looked all that bad last night. They didn't really get a lot of carries, but I didn't like Pacheco actually looked pretty decent last night.
Yeah.
Pacheco looked a lot better than he has.
Yes.
I will give him that. He has looked abysmal to start the season.
Yes.
So, and Brashard Smith's probably not going to get a lot of rushes. He's definitely like that PPR play. So anyway, all right. 3 others. We've got Ryan Flournoy, Dallas Cowboys receiver, Isaiah Likely, Mason Taylor. I didn't see a lot of other running receivers. I mean, you could go with Kendrick Bourne. He's another guy. I don't really know of anybody else right now at the top of my head, but who do y'all like out of these 3 or 4 guys, or anyone I haven't mentioned?
I would say I don't really like Isaiah Likely. I don't think there's a point picking him up going into a game where Cooper Rush is his quarterback and then they're on bye. If you're going to pick him up, wait a couple weeks. But I love Mason Taylor. I already said that during the show. 12 targets last week, might be the main target or getting the most targets of anybody on that Jets offense. I think Dom said 27% target share. Yeah, I love Mason Taylor. He's just getting better, and he's a rookie, so huge upside there.
I think I got a little bit of a sneaky one up in Indianapolis. I've got Josh Downs. He was targeted 8 times in Las Vegas, playing Las Vegas. I know he hasn't been as efficient as people would have liked. I knew people had him really, really high coming into the season. He's rostered 42%, so he's rostered in almost half leagues. But if he's not rostered in your leagues, I think he's worth a pickup just for the upside of getting an 8-target game, especially in those really nice matchups. He does have Arizona next, which is a nicer matchup. He does have Tennessee in week 8. He does have Atlanta in week 10. So I definitely do like his upside in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I also like Mason. Yeah, I like Mason Taylor a lot as well. He's had 6+ targets each of the last 3 games, and he had 12 last week, and he had 9 receptions for 67 yards. I just think, the targeted share, it's very consolidated. It's Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor, and Breece Hall, and it's really nobody else. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity, and like Alex said, he's a rookie, so he's going to continue to grow. And Justin Fields, you can't really trust Justin Fields as a quarterback, so he's going to be quick to throw those underneath passes, which Mason Taylor will be.
You can trust Justin Fields in fantasy, though, I will say.
Yes.
That's three top 5 weeks so far this season out of the 4 he's played. Like, come on. Love it.
Also, I have one more. One more tight end ad. If you don't have Theo Johnson already, please add him. He's Jackson Dart's second favorite target behind Wando Robinson, even though Wando Robinson didn't have a great game. But I believe he had 21 points this past week. In those nice matchups where they're going to pass, I think he's worth a pickup.
Yeah, definitely. I love the Josh Downs call out. I'm shocked at how many leagues he's not picked up in. Probably more shallower leagues, but Downs I think he's just a very good player. So Flournoy, just for people who are aware, he's probably just a flash in the pan. But if you want to take the risk, if you're struggling at receiver, probably not a bad one just while CD's out. And this is a guy the Cowboys also really liked coming out of college, and I think he's in his second year now. So for him to have a big game is a big deal for him. Isaiah Likely, the reason I have him on this list, did y'all see that the Ravens have announced that Mark Andrews is available for trade?
Did they announce that, or is that a rumor? I didn't see that.
It's from Schefter. Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport both reported it earlier today that Mark Andrews is up for trade. That the Ravens also just traded an edge player away.
To the Chargers.
Yeah, to the Chargers. There it is. Ravens are willing to part ways with Mark Andrews. And so that's why I have Likely on this list. I would never really like Likely just in the timeshare with Andrews, but if Andrews were to get traded, Likely is wheels all the way up because I think he's a better receiving tight end than Andrews. And honestly, if Andrews does get traded, can we please send him to Tampa Bay to play with his college quarterback, Baker?
That'd be pretty
good. He'll go to Jacksonville if he's getting traded.
Oh, that's actually a good
K. Dotton's
ball out.
I would say K. Dotton's good enough to hold down Tampa Bay. They don't need Mark.
K. Dotton's buns.
Don't forget
Mark Andrews anymore though.
In fantasy, he's buns. I think in watching football, K. Dotton's a very, very good tight end, but in fantasy, he is buns.
Just don't throw to Mark Andrews when the game's on the line or when you're playing.
He dropped another pass this week that led to interception. I just don't think he's that good anymore, to be honest with you.
That's probably why they're trading him. They probably know he's dust. So anyway, that's the waiver wire guys. Kind of shallow, probably not a lot of like win your league guys, but these are like perfect guys to get you through some of the injuries because there are a ton of injuries. So make sure you're active on the waiver wire. We're going to go into some buys and sells. And so if anybody has any trade questions, any people they think they should buy or sell, ask questions, let us know, hang out with us. We did have one question. So before we go into this, we're going to answer this one from Bronson. Should I trade Derrick Henry and Jackson Dart or Kyler for Lamar and Judkins or Swift? 2-quarterback league. Other quarterbacks are Allen and Daniel Jones. All together now, boys. Yes. 1,000%. Lamar and Judkins? Like,
oh, sure.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Yeah, that's an easy one, Bronson. Thank you for sharing. All right, let's go into some buys. I have a list of some buys and see somebody also wrote in there a buy. I could probably guess who that was. Dom. Was it? Or no, it was somebody else. Judkins.
Who? Oh, that was me.
That was Logan. I think everybody can agree on that one. But anyway, let me read this list off, and y'all can agree, disagree. Just let's make some comments on all of them. At tight end, Trey McBride. By Trey. Running backs, you got Bill, Croskey, Merritt, and Quinshon Judkins. Wide receivers, Stefon Diggs, Jaylen Waddle, and Tetairoa McMillan. Where are you guys at? Do you like these buys? Are there other buys you like? Tell me.
Yeah, I'll say it quickly before I got to head out. But there's a lot of buy high guys on this list today, and I don't really mind it because I think Stefon Diggs showed that he's going to be the wide receiver 1 for the Patriots for the rest of the season, and that he has the chance to put up top 10 fantasy numbers. 146 yards. Like, come on. He looked amazing. Yeah. Same thing with Waddle. With Tyreek Hill out, he's the wide receiver 1. Those are 2 guys that are going to be leading their offenses every week. So, yeah, I don't mind buying high. I think some people are going to be like, oh, sell high on these guys. They haven't been great, but take advantage of that if you can.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right. You going to head out, Alex?
Yep. Thank you, guys.
All right.
I'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Alex. See you later.
See you, Alex.
All right, man. All right. Oh, look at Dom. He's way off.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my mic is on the left side.
It's all good. All right. What else? What do you guys think of some of these buys?
I really like the. Go ahead, Dom. You can go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm still getting mine.
Okay, I was gonna say I really like Trey from McMillan. He has a 27% target share through the first 5 weeks, and he's had at least 8 targets in each game, and he's had not scored a touchdown yet. Now Bryce Young's kind of tough to trust, but I mean his next 2 weeks are the Jets and the Cowboys, so he probably should be able to take advantage of those matchups. And I do think he is a good. Probably, I don't know if I want to say buy low, but he has not produced the lofty numbers that fantasy managers hope to have when they draft him.
Oh yeah, and most people drafted him, I think, in the late 3rd, early 4th round, if I'm not mistaken.
Somewhere around the mid round, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So people are probably kind of frustrated, and especially with Bryce Young. So it does not hurt to throw out an offer. But yeah, I keep putting T-Mac on this list. One, because I just love him. I think he's so good. Like you said, 27% target share is just gold in fantasy football. And then on top of that, he's gotten 8 targets every game so far as a rookie. He's just getting warmed up. Everybody else is like gearing up as a rookie, and he's just been balling, and he just doesn't have the touchdowns. If he starts converting some of these red zone plays, he's going to be like a high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1. And we see this all the time with rookies, that they start off a little slow. People get frustrated. They trade them away because, I can go get something else. And then they're just left crying, hit their knees in a Walmart and just shaking their fist at the fantasy gods saying, why have you done this to me? As T-Mac balls out for 120 yards, 2 touchdowns on 12 catches, which is very plausible.
Yes, and I would like to see him get more like red zone targets. He doesn't get a lot of his targets are not catchable when it's in the end zone. Like, throw some fade routes to him. He's a big body receiver, and he's clearly the wide receiver 1 there for them as well.
Or even the slants. He runs a great slant route. I mean, it's just like, I don't understand it, but I think the Panthers are also trying to figure some things out right now. So they're going to figure it out. I mean, Panthers are always a late season team anyway. So I'm saying go buy T-Mac.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know. I have I think you were talking about a Cam, Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get somebody and you're up 4-1 in your league, or even 5-0, or even I'd even say if you're 3-2 and you need like a wide receiver and you don't have a lot of value to give, try and go get him. I think he's like, I think you said it, Cam. He's gonna be he's going to be a monster. He was top 12 before he got injured last year.
He was like top 3.
Yeah, he's like top 3. It was insane. I think he was averaging like above 18 points a game or something crazy like that.
It was him and Chris Godwin, because I had Godwin too. I had both of them on the same team, and then they both died.
That's rough.
Don't buy low on Chris Godwin. Don't buy low on Chris Godwin. But
sad.
No, very, very sad. I liked him. But anyway, Rashee Rice, I think, is the real deal. The target share is so out of whack, but I think once he comes back, it's going to realign itself. I think where he's going to be that Jameson Williams type of player where he's going to extend the field, and Rice is going to get all those slants, all those drags, all those those nice juicy PPR points that we love. He's going to get all that, and he has such a great touch.
Oh, your mic went out, Dom.
Am I back?
Yeah, there you are. Yep, your mic went out.
Sorry about that, guys.
You're good.
And I was just saying, he has one of the best quarterbacks of all time throwing to him. So that's it. I'm a Rashee Rice lover.
Correction, the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yes.
And he's playing really well right now. I mean, that loss last night
was very good. Yeah.
And his scrambling ability is really, really good. He's been really, really good for fantasy. I think he had 56 yards in last night's game.
Yeah, he did.
Running.
He was crushing. The Rashee Rice one's hard because you really have to be in the right league to buy him, because if the person who has Rashee is like 3-2, 4-1, I find it very, very unlikely that they're going to trade him because they've been holding on to him for a long time. You really got to find somebody who's been holding on to him that's like 2-4 or 1-4, 2-3 or 1-4.
Well, even in those cases, I think it'd be kind of tough. Like if I was holding Rice this long, even if I was 1-4 or 2-3, it would be pretty tough for me to move on when he's coming back in a week. So I think the window could be potentially closed to get Rice.
Yeah, the best thing you could do to sell getting Rice is that he will have a bye week. What is that? Week 7, I want to say.
No, he's coming back week 7. I think it's like week 10 is his bye.
Okay, week 10. So he's going to miss another game. So that's 7 total games that he will, quote unquote, miss while on your fantasy team. So you could try to use that as a bargaining bait, but you're probably going to have to give up somebody good. Would you trade Quinshon Judkins straight up for Rashee Rice?
It really depends on what your team needs.
Yeah.
But man, Rashee Rice, like you said, he could be top 12 receiver, top 10 receiver the rest of the season. And like that offense already looks like it's been rejuvenated. He's not even there yet. Like they've averaged 32.5 points the last 2 weeks. I would be very tempted to trade Judkins for him. Even though I said I would buy Judkins, I'd be very tempted to trade for Rashee Rice if I had Judkins.
Yeah, I think it all depends what you have and what you need. It's as simple as that.
I don't care. If I'm 0-5, I'm trading for Rashee. I don't care, dude. I'll go 0-6 with him on my bench. All right, I've got Bill on this list. So obviously Bill has a big game. And this is a buy high. We're a little late to this. Although we're not really late because we've been talking about Bill for a while. But now he's playing well. He looks like he has taken over that backfield after this last game. And I think the return of Jaden Daniels has really helped his ability to have open rushing lanes. Are y'all in on this buy, and what would you be willing to pay for Bill?
I'm in on this buy. In his next 2 weeks, Bears and Cowboys, he's going to exploit both those matchups. And last week, they were desperate for offense, late first quarter, early second quarter of that game, and they turned to him to get the offense going.
Yeah.
Would you give up, and we'll talk, I think this was also on the sheet or like before the show, but would you trade like Nico Collins for Croskey Merritt?
I would not.
Nico's on a bye. You would not? Okay.
I think that he has too much wide receiver 1 potential. That's kind of like I think he's kind of in the same boat as Brian Thomas Jr. I think there's just too much value in him. In the later week, if it's right before the deadline and Nico Collins is still performing like this, I would. But I think that there's too much value in him right now and for potential points. I would do it for Jacoby Myers if you can. I know he had a not a great week this week, but if he has a good week, maybe this week, high points per game, I would do that. But I feel like Nico Collins is a little bit steep for me, but it's close. I think it's pretty close.
Would you trade? What about Brian Thomas Jr.? Would you trade him for?
Dom hates Brian Thomas, dude.
I'll trade him for George Pickens.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That's just a callback to me and Cam traded with each other, and I got George Pickens and he got Brian Thomas Jr. in a fantasy football league.
Yeah, it's still coming, dude. It's gonna happen. Just wait on it. To be honest with you, Logan, I'm tempted on that offer, the Nico for
the
Bill.
Nico one.
I think the good thing with Nico is the name value might be able to get you a little bit additional. Plus, you're trading for a 7th round rookie who's had one good game, and you could swing it like that. And it was against a beat up Chargers team. But like the Commanders love to run the ball. They ran the ball a lot last year. It was how they maintained such a good offensive balance. And they were running with like a shell of Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson, who I never thought was very good, and Jeremy McNichols. Now, two of those guys are out of the picture, and it's McNichols, it's Chris Rodriguez, who are both like nobodies, and then Bill. And the other really good thing about Bill, and I talk about all the time my receiving running backs, but he caught 2 passes for 39 yards. One of them, I think, was also called back. He had one catch for I think it was 30 or 40 yards that got called back. So if they start using him in the receiving game as well, I mean, we're looking at top 12 running back on the season. And, the team, just if we take a look at it in a bird's eye view, the team has told us their plan with running back all off season. They draft this guy. There's all this hype coming out of training camp. They trade Brian Robinson. There's a bunch of people who are like, oh, you're going crazy for a 7th round rookie. He's not going to be anything. But the team has told you what they've wanted, and they've slowly brought him on. I think now's the time to buy. I'll say it. I think I would trade Nico straight up for Bill if I need a running back. I'm down on Nico. We could talk about Nico really quick, just sell wise. Goes into Baltimore, who everybody is scoring against, everybody, and gets outscored by Xavier Hutchinson's 2 touchdowns and 30 yards. What is going on in Houston?
I just think, I don't know, the touchdown really saved his day. I had him in a league, and he finished with 14 points, and it was really that touchdown that saved him. He only had 4 receptions for 52 yards, and he only had 4 receptions for 79 yards against Tennessee's really bad defense. So if he's not getting if he's not getting the touchdown, it's really going to be a disappointing day. And, he has a bye week this week, and he has Seattle, San Francisco, and Denver after the bye, which are all 3 really good pass defenses. I just have a tough time, if I have him, and I don't know who I should try to go after, but I would definitely try to sell high based on the last, he's putting up modest numbers, but it's definitely not the type of numbers you envisioned when you invested a 1st round pick on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I've got Nico in a lot of places. Actually, I wish Alex was on, because Alex's hot take at the beginning of the year was that Nico was live for 1,700 receiving yards, and I was all in on it. I thought they were going to throw the ball a lot more. After last year, they ran the ball a lot. I thought Nico was a super underrated, top 5 receiver in the league, and to be honest, I just think Stroud is not it. I think it's Stroud. I know they have offensive line problems.
The offensive line, I think if you give Stroud protection, I do think he could be a really solid quarterback. I really think it just all comes back to the offensive line.
Do you think he can relive his freshman year?
Those are really high numbers. We probably won't see it this year, because the offensive line's not going to get better this year. But next year, if they improve the offensive line, I do think you could see him return somewhat. His rookie year was incredible. It was one of the best rookie years of all time. So, and that year he had a good offensive line. He had the weapons. The weapons still are, you have Nico and a couple rookies and Dalton Schultz, and the run game is really not. It's really not
Christian
that strong.
Kirk.
Yeah, and Christian Kirk too. I just think next year is when I think you'll get the full answer on CJ Stroud.
Is he a buy in Dynasty? Are you buying him low in Dynasty?
I'd probably just stay away from. Because this year he's not going to help you. I think their schedule gets really tough. So maybe you can buy him during the offseason, but right now I wouldn't buy CJ Stroud.
Fair.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's had a bad offensive line for 4 or 5 straight years, and routinely when he's healthy is a top 5 quarterback. Obviously he has Jamar Chase and T Higgins, but Nico Collins is, every bit of T Higgins plus. He's definitely not on Jamar Chase's level, but I just I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the offensive line definitely has a huge bit to do with it, but I just think Stroud's struggling a lot, and after having such a good first year, you got to wonder why he can't. It's like he literally can't do much of anything. They barely beat the Titans. Obviously they blew it out in the second half, but when I say blew it out, they scored 26 points against the Titans.
Yeah. And I know it was against Baltimore. I know anybody would put up points against Baltimore, but he got protected. He threw 4 touchdowns in that game. And I know it was Baltimore, so it shouldn't
Right.
mean a lot, but I do think it kind of shows that if he is protected, he can dice up a defense, I still think.
Yeah. All right. Another sell I've got on this list while we're here is Michael Carter, who I just said go buy Michael Carter. I said Adam.
Okay, Adam. Okay. So Adam and then sell him? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, add him and sell him. And you can sell him off of this. There's a lot of ways you could sell him because, he just performed well. Trey Benson's on IR. Go find the guy who'd spent all of his fab or his top waiver priority on Trey Benson and trade him Michael Carter and get something a little more stable because I think Carter's going to produce, but he also has a pretty tough schedule coming up here. And, I don't really want to be the guy holding the bag on Michael Carter. Like I said, he was not on this team until like this past week. And so he plays Indy next. He plays Green Bay after that. And then it's a bye week. Indy, he probably will get a little bit, of play there. It's high scoring environment. But Green Bay, man, I can't see little Michael Carter breaking any good runs against the Green Bay Packers. But what do you guys think?
This is for Logan's ears only because I know Cam, you're not going to like this. Would you do it straight up for ETN? Not Bashal Tootin, ETN.
Bashal.
Oh, for sure. I would definitely trade Michael Carter for ETN. I would definitely.
I know he had I think 9 points this week. So I think he's a pretty fantastic buy low candidate. This is the first week where he didn't have more than I think 80 rushing yards in the game. He had 49. So he's one of my favorite buy lows, but I don't know if you would do that for him. Would you do it for Kenneth Walker straight up?
Yeah, I would trade Michael Carter for a lot of running backs. So, like, a lot of people you mentioned, I would probably – because, like Cam said, the schedule. And to be honest with you, having pieces in this Cardinals offense, like I have Trey McBride in multiple spots, it's the most frustrating thing on the planet to have pieces on his offense. And I know he played well in this past week, but there's no guarantee that carries over to this week. And that's even with DeMarcado probably getting benched. I just don't think Michael Carter is like a guarantee to produce again.
Yeah, my these are modest. It's a modest sell, so I don't think you can get a lot for him. But you could go. 2 ideas I have. One is Travis Hunter. See if you can get a Travis Hunter because he has not performed much at all. Brenton Strange out. Travis Hunter operating as the main slot guy. He ran 77% of the routes on Monday night, which is hugely encouraging. The other one that I think is like a smash accept, if you can get this, is Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings, he's been injured for the Niners, but when he played, even with Ricky Pearsall, he alphaed Ricky Pearsall in week 2, had 10 targets, 5 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown. Kyle Shanahan just loves Juwan Jennings. I think he's a great buy low, but you're not trading a lot for him. And Michael Carter, like I said, like sell that 18 points, just sell that it's a healthy running back to somebody. But those are the guys I'm looking at getting.
I have an interesting one.
Yeah.
And this may seem outlandish and really like you guys may give me a lot of pushback on this, but because of, the circumstances and if owner has this player and is, 1-4, 2-3, and really needs to get wins.
Yep.
Michael Carter for Hampton since Hampton's on the IR.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And that may be one that gets rejected pretty quickly if you send that, but who knows if people need wins and Hampton's, not available next 4 weeks and the running back slots are pretty not like there's not that good right now. I think that's somebody you could target.
Yeah.
That may be outlandish.
No, not at all. I'll take injured Omarion Hampton over Michael Carter's. He probably going to get you 8 points off 4 catches for 20 yards. Other ideas is like go get one of these like young rookies who hasn't produced yet, especially a receiver like Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden's a great guy, I think, and I'm like a known Matthew Golden hater, but the dude is always open. He had a pretty good game against Dallas. His target share is like ticking up, and they're just now coming out of the bye, and I think that they're going to make a more concerted effort to free him up. So he's a great one that you could probably get done.
And they have Bengals this week too, so that's another exploitable matchup. So, and it's at home too. Like I could see Matthew Golden just scoring a touchdown at home against defense.
Yeah, or Luther Burden.
I have him as a waiver wire pickup this week. I have him as a stash waiver wire pickup because I feel like going into this bye, the Bears are looking for somebody other than Odunze to produce because DJ Moore hasn't done that. But I think that he's a fantastic waiver wire pickup. No sarcasm, Cam.
Come on.
And I don't know, guys. If another wide receiver I have is Calvin Ridley, so high because I am taking whatever I can get for him this week. If you have him, that 18 points is going to look like gold for your trade bait. Even if you could pay, I would do that. I would do a Michael Carter and a Calvin Ridley for Omari and Hampton. Yeah.
I do Michael Carter and crap. Who did you just say? Did I just
Calvin Ridley?
Michael Carter and Calvin Ridley for Luther Burden straight up right now, dude. I will do it right now. I don't care.
Right now.
I'll drop both of them just to pick up Luther. What's up? I will say there's one guy that I think I missed on the waivers. But I think, especially deeper leagues, if you can get Torrey Horton, I think he's on a lot of waivers right now. He is playing really well for a later round rookie who had a really weird college prospect profile, and the Seahawks are playing like so well right now. He's one I'm very interested in.
He's definitely an intriguing player. And who knows? Maybe he takes over the wide receiver 2 spot eventually from Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp just he does not look like the same player from a few years ago, and maybe Horton ends up taking a wide receiver 2 spot.
Yeah. Horton's going to have to earn it, but he's returning kicks a lot. He's playing well as a receiver. This last week, 4 targets, 3 catches, 39 yards, and a touchdown. He's been a touchdown machine. 3 touchdowns already through 5 weeks. And I just think, like you said, Logan, Cooper Kupp's washed. And behind that, it's Jake Bobo, Cody White.
There's not a lot of outside of JSN, there's really not a lot of receiver. Like Horton has the opportunity to really take that wide receiver 2 role at some point this year.
Yeah. And with Darnold playing well, that's a really sneaky ad, but you're still probably going to have to wait a little bit. But you don't want to wait too long because, if he scored 20 points this upcoming week, it's over. You're not getting them unless you have a number 1 waiver or and then they're playing Jacksonville, which I guess it's
Jaguars defense is last night they actually played a real opponent, gave up 28 points and probably should have been more if Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw a pick 6, but I think that defense is kind of live.
Fake.
I think I don't think it's gonna be as good as it's been, but I do think it's going to be a pretty decent defense the rest of the season.
Oh no, dude! The way Darnold's dealing right now.
That's true though. Darnold, man,
he's
him
balling.
And Baker Mayfield. He's such a bargain contract, and they got rid of Geno Smith, who got paid $45 million a year to go to the Raiders, and it's just you're paying Darnold $30 million a year. It's
so crazy.
Such a bargain.
I can't wait till he gets cut. Geno Smith. That's going to be. I wonder who they're going to trade for because they need somebody else at quarterback. I would even mind seeing Russell Wilson.
No. Don't do Russell. No, that's a downgrade. Do not.
Russell Wilson should not play another NFL snap.
No, he needs
to retire. That's just my opinion.
Nobody should go after him. The Bengals should. I think Flacco's a better option than Russell Wilson. I wouldn't. No.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't even like Flacco. I thought that was a lateral move at best.
Yeah, at best, very much so. Really quick, so we haven't gone over Stefon Diggs, Jaylen Waddle, Trey McBride. I mean, we've kind of touched on them, but I'll hit Trey McBride really quick. Obviously McBride's not scoring in the touchdown department, and he really hasn't had much yak this year. But his target share numbers, his route participation numbers, everything's the same as last year. And so I think this is just one of those times when it's at a lull, but you want to get in on it. And if somebody's low on Trey McBride and they're, thirsty for points and, are interested in a Jake Ferguson, Tucker Kraft, well, maybe not Tucker Kraft because Kraft is playing well, but I mean, this guy was, I think he was the second overall tight end last year, only to Bowers, who Bowers was like basically like a top 6 receiver last year. So McBride, I think, is a great buy. I don't know what you guys think on that one.
And he was the number 2 tight end last year, despite only scoring 1 touchdown. And that was week 17 when they forced it to him. So hopefully the touchdowns go to him, because that's the reason I kind of drafted him, was I thought the touchdown regression would turn to his side. And he's had 26 targets the last 3 weeks, like you said. Like he gets the targets. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to make a splash play here or there, but he's not going to be consistent enough. I have McBride, and I'm probably holding on to him, but I am a bit scared that this offense is just not going to turn around. But I would try to buy him if you can get him at a relatively low price.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. I feel like McBride is such a good buy low target. His target share is just he's other than Marvin Harrison, which I don't know what's going on with Marvin Harrison. I don't know whether we should love him or hate him, or I just can't deal with the emotional ups and downs with him. But I think McBride is one of the safest options in that Arizona offense. Another one that you mentioned, Jaylen Waddle. For everybody who has him, hold him. I think he's a hold, especially that Tyreek is out full season. If Tyreek was out maybe like 4 weeks, 3 weeks, I would say fantastic game. Get him away as soon as possible. Get more safer value. But I feel like he is very safe value, even if in worse matchups. Other than Darren Waller, which just had turned into prime 2019 Darren Waller. I think he's the main guy in this offense, and he's going to get a ton of volume because they're going to be down most of these games, so they're going to have to throw it.
Yeah, I think Stefon Diggs, is a hold for me. You mentioned him. I think right now he's established himself as a clear number 1. And the Bills game was a clear revenge game. Very motivated. He balled down that game. Waddle, to me, it's a tougher. I hear what you guys are saying, but at the same time, I've seen this with Waddle before. Of he produces in a game, then he'll disappear a lot. And I've had Waddle multiple years. He disappears a lot. And his next 2 opponents are the Chargers and Cleveland. And if he disappoints in those games, you could have missed your window to sell high. So I'm kind of on the fence if you should hold him or if you should sell him.
Yeah, Waddle's definitely a risky one. And this is, I wouldn't fully advise you go crazy to go get Waddle, but I do really like Waddle. And I think the difference in his role is that he'll be getting more targets down the field, especially with Darren Waller now on the team, because Darren is now, running across the middle. He's demanding, the defense to respect him. You got A-Chain coming out of the backfield, and that just releases Waddle for more down the field plays. And so I think it actually works well for this offense. And, with Mike McDaniel having to, coach for his life, if you will, I just think he's going to scheme the ball to his best players. And as much as Waller's playing well, I think he's also going to throw the ball a lot to Waddle. Now, if McDaniels gets fired, we have no idea what this offense is going to look like, because McDaniel is such a revolutionary, offensive mind. So that's the only scary part for me with Waddle, and the injuries. I think it was a year or two ago. It was every game he played in, it was Jaylen Waddle entering into the blue tent. Oh, he's back out. Oh, he's back in the blue tent. It's just frustrating. So I get it. And Diggs, I think now's the time to go get him. 2 weeks in a row now. I think he's played well. Drake May is playing lights out. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, per the numbers. And he needs a number 1 guy. It used to shift all the time. One time it'd be Pop Douglas, then it would be Kayshon Boutte. Now Diggs is there. He looks healthy. He looks fresh. I really like Diggs. And this is a guy who was an elite asset, 3 years ago. And obviously, he hasn't played well, but there's been a lot of injuries. He's been kind of moving from team to team. People forget he played really well for Houston last year for the first, 6-7 games that he played. And so I still think there's some meat on the bone with Stefon Diggs. But I think that does it for buys and sells. We got a couple questions we'll do real quick. Wait, I think we already did that one. Okay, so we only got one question, so this is good. John Abruzzo, sup fellas, trade Mahomes, Chuba, and Rico for Jayden Daniels and Brees. Yeah, I mean, another one that feels really good to me.
Oh man, see, Mahomes is playing so well, right?
I
know you get like Jaylen Daniels and Brees, and Chuba and Rico in the same backfield. You get the rushing upside. Well, I guess Mahomes is also rushing. I probably think Jayden Daniels and Brees, but I do think this is a closer trade than people may think.
Yeah, I'm very 50-50 about this. I think that Mahomes gets a bad rap for his past years in fantasy. He hasn't been that efficient, but this year he's like, I think we were talking about it before. He's been he's been really, really good on the ground. I think he had 56 yards this game in Jacksonville. And he's obviously efficient in the air as well. So I guess I would lean toward Jayden Daniels and Brees, but I still really like your side with Chuba and Rico because you have the handcuff. Even if Chuba is back and Rico doesn't have value, he's still valuable as your handcuff. It's not a bad trade, but I still would probably take the Jayden Daniels side, but I'm with Logan on this. I think this is way, way closer than people may think.
Yeah, I'm way, way, way on the Jayden Daniels and Brees side. I think that Rico is going to have a little standalone value until Chuba comes back, but once he comes back, like you're going to be in a gross timeshare between those two. And as good as Mahomes is playing, like this is no knock on Mahomes because he's like top 3 right now as a fantasy quarterback. I just think Jayden Daniels, you're buying him low, and I don't think there's any implication that Jayden Daniels is going to be, less than a QB1. So tearing down from Mahomes to add Brees. The other thing with Brees, like right now, he's got all the running back share. Of course, Braylon Allen's going to come back, but I still think Braylon Allen is doo-doo buns. But Brees is also live to be traded. And, you've got 3 teams right now who desperately need running back between the Bears, the Chiefs, and, who was the other team? Chargers. Chargers. So, there's a lot of potential upside with Brees. And even if that doesn't happen, just him being in that backfield alone, like he's playing really well right now, could get better as the season goes on.
Yeah.
So
and as you mentioned, Chuba and Rico Dowdle, they may end up splitting backfield work once they're both healthy at the same time too. So the more I think about it, the more I'm just more convinced to take Jayden Daniels and Brees. And Brees, like you said, I mean, we talked about he's probably the 3rd target in that offense in New York. So you get the receiving work and then the more rushing upside with Jayden Daniels, in my opinion.
Yeah. And once again, no knock on Mahomes. This is a pro Mahomes show. We love Patrick Mahomes,
for sure.
Except for Trey. Trey does not like Patrick Mahomes, but that's because Mahomes is daddy. So anyway, all right. Do you guys have any parting thoughts for people this week as they head into week 6?
I mean, if Rico Dowdle is still available in your league, what percent has he picked up? He's only rostered at 58%. If you are the other 32%, do not have him. I think that's right. Yeah, my math is right.
It's 42.
42. Sorry, it's really late at night.
Okay.
42%. This is not a math show. This is a fantasy football show. No, but if you don't have Rico Dowdle, please pick him up. Reports I was reading while we were doing on Waiver Wire, Chuba Hubbard might be held out. We were talking about Chuba Hubbard being potentially held out again. If he's held out again, he has a very nice week against Dallas, who let Brees Hall cook last week. So pick up Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, and it's a revenge game for Dowdle as well. So it could be the Stefon Diggs effect like last week.
Yeah,
I said we didn't really talk about streaming quarterbacks or picking up quarterbacks, but if Matthew Stafford's available in your league, pick him up. He's playing Baltimore. For now on, if you have a quarterback against Baltimore, start him. So go get Matthew Stafford if he's available in your league.
Yeah, that's huge. Because C.J. Stroud was the top scorer overall this week, and C.J. Stroud has not been playing well at all.
No. That was his first top 20 finish in over a calendar year or something like that, or some type of finish.
Crazy.
Where he has not been that good of a quarterback over the past year and a half, like you guys said.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I think 2 players I'll leave you guys with of buy highs. Drake London, we had a bye week this past week. If you can get a deal done with Drake London, you're gonna have to pay for him. But I just love Drake London rest of season. And then Devin A-Chain, I talked about him a lot last week. Didn't have much success running the ball this past week, but he lined up at receiver. I can't remember the exact number, but I want to say it was like 50-60% of their plays. And so we're seeing this Miami offense kind of shift. And I don't know. I love A-Chain's upside. Like, if he's going to he got 6 receptions. If he's going to keep doing that the rest of the season, I just love it. I love it. I love it so much. So those are 2 buy high guys. But yeah, so that's what we've got for this week. Good luck to all of you guys heading into week 6. We wish you much fortune and victory. And once again, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, and then follow us on all our socials, YouTube or Instagram and Twitter. And then make sure you listen to us on podcasts, anywhere you listen to your podcast. And we will see you guys next week. So peace out and good luck to everybody.